śriyā rādha-madhava kunja-bihari. Śriyā rādha-madhava kunja-bihari. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Asdatara Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON Founder BBT, Founder Srila Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vranda Ki. Antaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Vyasadev Ki. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Ki. Bhakti Vedanta Purports Ki. Natai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudevaya. This morning we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, and as well as we'll read from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in relation to the anniversary disappearance of Srila Ramachandra Kaviraj and the anniversary appearance of Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami. First, Srimad Bhagavatam. Canto 10, chapter 51, the deliverance of Muchakunda. They've given three texts today, 47, 48, and 49. Text 47 has a short purport, and text 49 also has a similar short purport. So we will do together responsively text number 49. So I will just recite text 47 and 48. Of course, some of you may just want to recite. That happens sometimes. But let it be that we will do text 49 together. Text 47. Mamaiṣa kālo jita niṣphalo gato rājya-śriyonnaddha-madasya bhū-pateḥ martyātma-buddheḥ suta-dāra-kośa-bhūṣv āsajjamānasya duranta-cintayā. And the translation and purport by the followers of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. A translation. Muchakunda continues here. I have wasted all this time, O conquerable one, becoming more and more intoxicated by my domain and opulence as an earthly king, misidentifying the mortal body as the self, becoming attached to children, wives, treasury, and land. I suffered endless anxiety. As a short purport. Having in the previous verse condemned those who misuse the valuable human form of life for mundane purposes, Muchakunda now admits that he himself falls into this category. He intelligently wants to take advantage of the Lord's association and become a pure devotee once and for all. And now I'll do text 48 myself. Kalevarasmin katakujasanibi nirudamano naradeva ityaham vritorates basva padachani kapai gam paryatams tava tvaganayam sudu-madaha. Translation here. With deep arrogance, I took myself to be the body, which is a material object like a pot or a wall. Thinking myself a god among men, I traveled the earth surrounded by my charioteers, elephants, cavalry, foot soldiers, and generals, disregarding you in my deluding pride. Now text 49, you can do responsibly. Pramatamuchai iti rājya-śriyonnaddha-madasya pravidalobam vishayeshu lalasam tvam apramatta sahasabi padyase shullali hanohir iva kum antakaha. Mataji's. There is the same verse in the fourth canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The translation slightly varies, but the meaning is the same. And Prabhupada gives a beautiful purport in that fourth canto, which I'm going to read from. I was hoping the translators would just repeat that here, but I'm going to read it anyway. Okay, so let's honor the translation here. Pramatam, thoroughly deluded, Uchai, extensive, iti kritya, of what needs to be done, Cintayā, with thought, Pravriddha, increased fully, Lobam, whose greed, Vishayeshu, for sense objects, Lalasam, hankering, Tvam, you, Apramata, not deluded, Sahasa, suddenly, Abhipadyasya, confront, should, out of thirst, Leli Anaha, licking its fangs, Ahi, a snake, Iva, as, Akum, a mouse, Antakaha, death. Translation: a man obsessed with thoughts of what he thinks needs to be done, intensely greedy, and delighting in sense enjoyment, is suddenly confronted by you, who are ever alert. Like a hungry snake licking its fangs before a mouse, you appear before him as death. As a purport, we may note here the contrast between the words pramatam and apramatam. Those who are trying to exploit the material world are pramata, deluded, bewildered, maddened by desire. But the Lord is apramata, alert, sober, and unbewildered. In our madness, we may deny God or His laws, but the Lord is sober and will not fail to reward. Are you able to pull up that verse, which is 4th canto text, chapter 24, text 66? It's the very same verse. by Srila Prabhupada. Of course, here we see Muchukunda is following in the footsteps of Lord Shiva, because it's a song sung by Lord Shiva. So he's following the Mahajana. It's the very same verse by Srila Prabhupada. So in the translation, and get to the translation, I'll just read Prabhupada's translation. My dear Lord, all living entities within this material world are mad after planning for things. And they are always busy with the desire to do this or that. This is due to uncontrollable greed. The greed for material enjoyment is always existing in the living entity, but your Lordship is always alert, and in due course of time you strike him, just as a snake seizes a mouse and very easily swallows him. So Prabhupada gives in a nice translation also. And Prabhupada gives a 1.5 page purport on the same verse, where Muchukunda is following in the footsteps of Lord Shiva, who is glorifying the Lord. This is a song sung by Lord Shiva, originated by Lord Shiva, and then repeated by Muchukunda. And in the purport by Srila Prabhupada, everyone is greedy and everyone makes plans for material enjoyment. In his lust for material enjoyment, the living entity is described as a madman. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, text 27, Prakrite kriyamanani gunair karmani sarvasaha ahankara vimudatma gataham iti manyate. Translation: the bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, thinks himself to be the doer of activities which are in actuality carried out by nature. Unquote. Everything is enacted by the laws of nature, and these laws are under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The atheists or unintelligent men do not know this. They are busy making their own plans, and big nations are busy expanding their empires. And yet we know that in due course of time, many empires have come into existence and been destroyed. Many aristocratic families were created by people in their extreme madness, but we can see that in the course of time, those families and empires have all been destroyed. But still the foolish atheists do not accept the supreme authority of the Lord. Such foolish people unnecessarily concoct their own duties without referring to the supreme authority of the Lord. The so-called political leaders are busy making plans to advance the material prosperity of their nation. But factually, these political leaders only want an exalted position for themselves. Due to their greed for material position, they falsely present themselves as leaders before the people and collect their votes, although they are completely under the grip of the laws of material nature. These are some of the faults of modern civilization. Without taking to God consciousness and accepting the authority of the Lord, the living entities become ultimately confused and frustrated in their plan-making attempts. Due to the unauthorized plans for economic development, the price of commodities is rising daily all over the world, so much so that it has become difficult for the poorer classes, and they are suffering the consequences. And due to lack of Krishna consciousness, people are being fooled by so-called leaders and plan makers. Consequently, the sufferings of the people are increasing. According to the laws of nature, which are backed by the Lord, nothing can be permanent within this material world. Therefore, everyone should be allowed to take shelter of the Absolute in order to be saved. In this regard, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 5, text 29, Bhoktaram yajya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suridam sarva bhutanam kyatvamam shantim richati. Translation. The sages, knowing me as the ultimate purpose of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material existence. Unquote. If one wants peace of mind and tranquility in society, he must accept the fact that the real enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is the proprietor of everything all over the universe, and He is the supreme friend of all living entities as well. By understanding this, people can become happy and peaceful individually and collectively. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Ajnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. One disciple of Srila Prabhupada who was feeling quite wretched and not feeling spiritual at all. So he approached Srila Prabhupada, and then Srila Prabhupada said, yes. And then he mentioned to Srila Prabhupada, sometimes I'm in Maya. Then Srila Prabhupada immediately retorted, you are always in Maya. So there are two aspects here. One is that those who are innocent in their ignorance in the material world, sometimes we call them non-devotees, but they're all potential devotees actually. Sometimes we use the heavy word karmis, but not really like that. They're all innocent in their ignorance. So they may not know that they're in Maya because they're innocent in their ignorance. But when one comes into contact with Krishna consciousness and comes into contact with practicing Krishna consciousness, the devotee may feel, I found it. This is what I've been looking for. And I feel so pure. And those people, they in Maya. They're not Krishna conscious. But as one develops internally in Krishna consciousness, then one will feel that I am always in Maya. That means you're making tangible spiritual advancement. Because those who are not devotees yet, they don't know that they're in Maya. But those who are devotees in their mature stage come to realize and know that I am in Maya. And this is Muchukunda. He is now declaring it boldly to the Lord. I am in Maya. And then as one further matures internally in Krishna consciousness, because everyone wants to become purified by the practice of Krishna consciousness. Everyone wants to make spiritual advancement. But when one internally further goes into one's own self, although it says purity is the force, but when one further goes internally into oneself, it's no more purity is the force for you. It's that purity is the force where you have the force or potency to see purity in others. Especially within the favorable association of devotees. So today marks also the anniversary, disappearance of Srila Ramachandra Kaviraj. You may repeat after me. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is the Adi Leela chapter 7 entitled The Expansions of Lord Nityananda, and the particular verse in relation to Sri Ramachandra Kaviraj's text number 51. It goes as follows. text 51. Kamsari Sena Rama Sena Ramachandra Kaviraja Govinda Sri Ranga Mukunda Tina Kaviraja. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. Chapter 11, Adilila. The translation. The 58th great devotee of Lord Nityananda Prabhu was Kamsari Sena. The 59th was Rama Sena. The 60th was Ramachandra Kaviraj. And the 61st, 62nd and 63rd were Govinda, Sri Ranga and Mukunda, who were all physicians. And in the purport by Srila Prabhupada, just the first paragraph in relation to Ramachandra Kaviraj. Sri Ramachandra Kaviraj, the son of Kandavasi Chiranjeev and Sunanda, was a disciple of Srinivasacharya and the most intimate friend of Das Thakur, who prayed several times for his association. His youngest brother was Govinda Kaviraj. Srila Jiva Goswami very much appreciated Sri Ramachandra Kaviraj's great devotion to Lord Krishna and therefore gave him the title Kaviraj. Sri Ramachandra Kaviraj, who was perpetually disinterested in family life, greatly assisted in the preaching work of Srinivasacharya and Das Thakur. He resided at first in Srikanda, but later in the village of Kumaranagara on the banks of the Ganges. He's one of our most important associates, who's practically an expansion of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And that famous song by Das Thakur, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Taya Koramore, and the last line, Chanda Sangha Mage Narattomadas. So he's such a close associate of Srila Das Thakur, Srila Ramachandra Kaviraj, that Das Thakur mentions him, how he misses his association. Ramachandra Sangamage Narattomadas. Today also marks the appearance anniversary of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and we're going to read from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 10, text 105, about Gopal Bhatta Goswami. In relation to Ramachandra Kaviraj, he is like an avesh or expansion in consciousness of Lord Nityananda. However, Gopal Bhatta Goswami is actually a branch of the Chaitanya tree. So this Adi Leela chapter 10 is entitled The Branches of the Chaitanya Tree. Very beautiful purport by Srila Prabhupada. Text 105. Shri Gopala Bhatta Eka Saka Sarvottama Rupa Sanatana Sange Yandra Prema Alapana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, the 47th branch, was one of the great and exalted branches of the tree. That means the Chaitanya tree. He always engaged in discourses about love of God in the company of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami was the son of Venkata Bhatta, a resident of Sri Rangam. Gopal Bhatta formerly belonged to the disciplic succession of the Ramanuja Sampradaya, but later became part of the Gaudiya Sampradaya. In the year 1433, Sakabda AD 1511, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was who then got the opportunity to serve the Lord to his heart's content. Gopal Bhatta also got the opportunity to serve the Lord at this time. Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami was later initiated by his uncle, the great sannyasi, Prabodhananda Saraswati. Both the father and the mother of Gopal Bhatta Goswami were extremely fortunate, for they dedicated their entire lives to the service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They allowed Gopal Bhatta Goswami to go to Vrindavan, and they gave up their lives thinking of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Lord Chaitanya was later informed that Gopal Bhatta Goswami had gone to Vrindavan and met Sri Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, he was very pleased, and he advised Sri Rupa and Sanatana to accept Gopal Bhatta Goswami as their younger brother and take care of him. Sri Sanatana Goswami, out of his great affection for Gopal Bhatta Goswami, compiled the Vaishnava Smriti named Hari Bhakti Vilas and published it under his name. Under the instruction of Srila Rupa and Sanatana, Gopal Bhatta Goswami installed one of the 7 principal deities of Vrindavan, the Radha Raman deity. The Sevites, priests of the Radha Raman temple, belong to the Gaudiya Sampradaya. When Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami took permission from all the Vaishnavas before writing Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Gopal Bhatta Goswami also gave him his blessings, but he requested him not to mention his name in the book. Therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has mentioned Gopal Bhatta Goswami only very cautiously in 1 or 2 passages of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Jiva Goswami has written in the beginning of his Tattva Sandarbha, quote, "A devotee from southern India who was born of a Brahmana family and was a very intimate friend of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami has written a book that he has not compiled chronologically. Therefore I, a tiny living entity known as Jiva, am trying to assort the events of the book chronologically, consulting the direction of great personalities like Madhavacharya, Sridhar Swami, Ramanujacharya and other senior Vaishnavas in the disciplic succession." Unquote. In the beginning of the Bhagavat, Swami compiled a book called Sad-kriya Saradipika, edited the Hari Bhakti Vilas, wrote a foreword to the Sat Sandarbha and a commentary on the Krishna Karnamrita, and installed the Radha Raman deity in Vrindavan. In the Gaura Ganadishtipika 184, it is mentioned that his previous name in the pastimes of Lord Krishna was Anangamanjari. Sometimes he is also said to have been an incarnation of Guna Manjari. Srinivasacharya and Gopinath Pujari were 2 of his disciples. on the eve of Nishinga Chaturdasi here in Vrindavan, all the other Goswamis, including Srila Rupa Goswami, whose Ishtadev is Shri Radha Govindadev, Sanatan Goswami, whose Ishtadev is Radha Madan Mohan, yes. Srila Jiva Goswami, Radha Damodar. Yes. So like that, the different Goswamis were preparing nice outfits and so forth on the eve of Nishinga Chaturdasi. They were making elaborate preparations to serve the deities, because the deities have a nice face, they have limbs, a form, and a beautiful Radha Govinda. Like that, they have. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami was not to be seen. See? And Srila Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis were asking, where is Gopal Bhatta? Not to be seen. Yeah. So he was hiding in the area where Radharaman is established today. And he was like so disheartened to worship Shaligram Shila, because he cannot sew the Shaligram Shila any outfits, cannot dress, and so forth. And he was not worshipping the Shaligram Shila that morning. He was so disheartened. So in his heart, he heard some voices. And he couldn't figure out the voices. And he was thinking he was in a delusional state. What is going on? Is somebody actually speaking to me? Like that. Shedding profuse tears that was literally, like coming down to like a puddle, around him, like that. Yeah. He was really, he felt, so fallen and felt that, I am not able to worship the Lord as Rupa is worshipping and Sanatana is worshipping and so forth. And the tears profusely that was coming down in this state, that he cannot worship his Lord like how they are doing on the eve of Nishinga Chaturdasi, like that, made him blind, blinded him. Not that he became blind, but so in his heart there was some voice. In different sort of remembrances of how this happened, there was a voice. And he was trying to look in his heart by closing his eyes, but he's trying to figure what's going on, like that. And then the voice is telling him, open your eyes. And when he opened, his shaligram transformed into Shri Radharaman. And then when the other Goswamis heard of this, Radharaman was given the best celebration on the Nishinga Chaturdasi day itself, that he has appeared to Gopal Bhatta Goswami. I usually like to start on time and end on time, even when I teach courses. Any comments or questions? I have to ask you again. I've seen you, but your name again?
Bhagavat. Bhagavat. Das, Anudas.
You're always enthusiastic.
That's the only thing I have going for me, so I really try to
Can you
explain.
bless me with that enthusiasm?
If you bless me, Maharaj,
This morning he was doing the Premadwani prayers after Mangalat. I don't know whether I heard correctly. I was sitting in the corner. All glories to the assembled Brajabasis. Was that you?
Yeah. Please chastise me if I've done something wrong.
And I was thinking, I'm struggling with my 16 rounds. He must be fixed in his japa to do that. To see everyone as Brijbasi. Amazing. But I'm not one of them.
Maharaj, I sometimes blurt out things, I have no idea what I'm saying.
But it's spontaneous, so you're in that category.
By your blessings only, Maharaj. When you read the verse and the purport, both the verses, and it talked about greed, and it came into my mind the discussion between Lord Kapila and his mother Devahuti. And in one of her, after the Lord has described so much of this process of Sankhya, yoga and devotional service, she asked him a question. And I'm going to repeat more or less the question and get your insights on it. She says that, I understand everything you're saying about the process and everything, but she says, I still cannot understand how we are able to get detachment from our senses, because the relationship between the senses and sense objects is so powerful. It's an unconscious process. When we just observe sense objects, immediately the mind goes out and grabs them. So I just wanted to have your perspective on that, because oftentimes for myself as just a conditioned soul, it seems quite hopeless. And I want to get your insights on that.
Well, I'm not sure how to respond to you, because you are speaking in the same category of Muchakunda. That means you are Krishna conscious, because you have realized that you're always in Maya. So I don't really know how to respond. I'm thinking that I am Krishna conscious and others are in Maya. Next question.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for that class.
What's your name?
My name is Munjaranya Devi Dasi.
Say that again.
Munjaranya.
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 Can you tell me the meaning of the name?
It's the forest which was on fire and Krishna swallowed the forest fire.
It's nearby.
I haven't been.
No, it's nearby. Okay, Munjaranya Mataji.
Maharaj, I was wondering if you could please elaborate on that point that you made in that purport on the second point, that we know that purity is the force, but for one who has internally matured or advanced in Krishna consciousness, they can see that purity in the heart of other devotees, and that
I
becomes
didn't say
the
heart.
force.
You are giving your own purport.
Sorry. So you said that purity in other devotees, and that becomes the force.
And I said in the favorable association of devotees. I used the word not association of devotees. I used the word in the favorable association of devotees. So it's important to hear every word. Now, what is your question?
Could you please elaborate on that?
On what?
That what does it mean? That you see purity, that does it mean that you see that how other devotees are more pure? And then that is the force.
Your mother is around in this world.
Yeah.
Does she have faults?
Yes.
Do you see it?
I see them, but I love her too much too.
Precisely.
I see them, yes.
That's seeing the purity in others. It's based on relationship. It's based on affection. It's based on care. If you're not close to somebody, you may see their faults. But if you're close to somebody, they're serving you, you're serving them, you don't see their faults. You just see how affectionate they are, how loving they are. So never comment on somebody that you don't know, even if it's another devotee. That's why this internet stuff is all rubbish. Social media is all rubbish. Because you don't know the person and you comment. So it's important that when we are in this favorable association of devotees, then the best comes out based on affection and care and love. So that's how it is when purity is the force, becomes the force for you, or as the potency that you have to see the purity in others.
Thank you.
Yes, Prabhupada Priya.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. If we see only the purity in others...
Who's we?
The devotees.
Speak from a personal perspective.
Okay. If I see only purity in others, then how will I be able to discriminate?
You won't be able to see that in everyone. If you don't know somebody, you should be polite. You should be polite. Because they don't know you, you don't know them. But if you know somebody and there's some relationship in relation to like serving with each other and you know them, then you see. Although the faults are there, but you'll see. Based on that, the purity in them. So it's not a general principle, it's based on faith and relationship. Go ahead, something else?
I mean, it seems like you're saying that if we love someone, we won't see their faults. We'll only see the purity.
No. If you love somebody, you'll see their faults, which makes it, you could in one sense, not boring. It becomes juicy. It becomes flavorful. It's like a variegatedness. The faults are part of the love. You want me to give you an example?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes. So when I was growing up, I'm the youngest in the family. Of course, most of them are late now, they're gone. Yeah. So when I was growing up, I used to see that I was brought up from a very traditional, conservative, I wouldn't say Vedic culture, but Indian culture. They're kind of not the same, but they have some similarity. Yeah. Because the Vedic culture is Krishna consciousness. Indian culture may not be Krishna consciousness. So, when my father comes home, he sits down and he doesn't speak. So my mother is ready to serve him. You know, my mother is ready to serve him. So one time my mother happened to be a little sick. She was not well. So because I'm the youngest, I came from school and I'm at home. So I started serving my father. So my father refused to take service from me, and he doesn't go into the kitchen much. Because I'm his baby. So he went into the kitchen, he served himself, and he washed all the dishes and everything, whatever, and he put it away. And when I went to see my mother, she started crying. She found fault with my father that he's not supposed to do that. So faults are good way it enhances the love. But finding fault to be better than somebody else, that's false ego. We must live with faults of others in a loving spirit. If it's not there, then it's boring. There's no variegatedness in the relationship. I'm not sure whether I'm supposed to take more questions because I can end with the pastime in relationship that on the absolute platform also. Am I supposed to take more questions? It's okay. So I can end with this pastime? Yeah. Out of the 41 or some odd years that I joined ISKCON from 1983, I spent at least about, collectively speaking, I spent at least about maybe, out of the 40 some odd years, at least about maybe 12 to 15 years collectively in Vrindavan. I had my first service in 1989. I was an ashram teacher in the Gurukul here. Then later on I was the co-president here for several years, and I was staying here like that. So I used to go to places with like the elder Gurukul boys, which are unknown a little bit, but now it's known. During the Vrajmandal Parikram, this place was not known. It's in the vicinity of between Vashana and Nandagram. Yeah. You can go to that place today because at that time there was only forest. You can't even go in. You'll have to clear the bushes to go in. Like that. It's called Anjanavan. Anyone's been there? It's only cleared recently in the last several years, but the Vrajmandal Parikrama doesn't go there. Yeah. So there's a verse in Brahma Samhita, Prem Anjana Churiti Bhakti Vilochanena Shanta Shadeva Hridayoshi Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achinti Guna Surupam Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. So Prem Anjana. Anjana means to decorate or to smear oneself with the salve of love. Like that. Yeah. It's actually a beautiful place. It's one of the last vans that's left around in a forest area. Yeah. So Krishna, Shyam, he had a rendezvous with Radharani to meet at Anjanavan in that area. It was not called Anjanavan. When they meet, they have their own ways of saying where to meet. It's private. But we name it after the pastime, Anjanavan. Like that. So there's a beautiful kund there. Like that. So somehow Radharani came early, but she could not decorate herself in Javat or Yavat. But she came early to decorate herself. Yeah. So when you go to that small temple today, you'll see there's a big stone. Not a rock, big stone. And when you place some water on that stone, you can get some blackness coming. See? So Radharani was decorating herself by putting water from the kund onto that stone. Now the stone is moved from the kund and put at the temple down. It's the same stone. So she was doing that, and she was looking for a mirror, but the only mirror she could find is the kund. Because when you look in the kund, your reflection is there. See? See, premanjana. What do you call it? Kajal. Black, what was it? Another name? Mascara. Yeah. So she was decorating a right eye and looking there. See? So Krishna came early also. She came earlier to decorate herself to meet Krishna. So Krishna came. So Krishna came and he saw what she's doing. She was like bending over and she was looking at a reflection and decorating the right eye. So Krishna came over her form because she was down. And, you know, in Braj you'll see ladies also and even men, when they sit, their feet are flat. And they're not sitting with the back down. It's just the feet. I can't do that. It's not so easy. You know? And she was looking at the reflection and decorating anjana, mascara, or kajal, the blackness. Like that. So as she was doing that, some spots of her decoration entered the kund, and that place became a little bit black because the kund became ecstatic that it is from Radharani, you know, like that. See, and Krishna saw. Then the kund became ecstatic and became black because of that drop, so that Radharani can see her face clearly in the darkness of the water, not that the water is a little clear. And in that darkness of the water, Krishna came over her and he looked, huh? So she swung around. Hey, Shyam? Yes. And he looks at her. You are not perfect. And he laughs and laughs because you can imagine Radharani is decorated on one eye and not the other eye. It looks funny. Huh? You're going to decorate the other eye and make me wait? No. And in that funniness, he went into what is called hasya bhav. You know, it's like a laughing ecstasy. And in his laughing ecstasy, you know, when somebody just laughs and laughs and laughs, the eyes gets closed automatically, you know. And he was laughing, and it had to come out of his life. He was just laughing. See, he looked so funny just on one side, Anjana, you know, one side decorated. And Radharani became angry, man. And she left. Because he was making fun of her. Only once. That means he was finding fault. He was finding fault. But it's perfect. Just being decorated in one eye and not the other, it's perfect for Radharani. But he went into this hasya bhav, laughing ecstasy. And when he realized she's not there, this hasya bhav left him. And he went into another vipralamba bhav. So, from imperfection there's perfection. From imperfection there's perfection in the relationship. So from false there's juice, there's rasa. If there's no fault, there's no juice. See? There must be something incomplete to make it complete in its relationship. And that happens amongst devotees. I was hearing one class of Srila Prabhupada. You want to say something?
I have a question.
I'm feeling hungry. For breakfast. Okay, I'll end with that statement from Srila Prabhupada, but let's give him the microphone. He's senior to me in all respects. Let's honor that. Microphone, please. You should go to this place, Anjanavan. Beautiful. And, put the water in the muskar, and put it on your head and put it in your eyes or something. For the ladies, for the men can put it on the head. Beautiful place. Yes?
How do we develop the vision, the purity, and whatever other qualities we need to be able to experience the juice in our own faults?
You don't develop purity. You have to be impure for others to see your impurity, to see it as juice.
Can you repeat that?
Did I go too fast?
Yeah, for me you did.
Yeah. Let others see your faults and let them relish it in the relationship. Is that okay?
Perfect. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah. I was hearing one lecture of Srila Prabhupada, So somehow, after the lecture, Srila Prabhupada was speaking about the spiritual master and disciple. So then, one disciple asked a question to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, you mentioned in your class how to be a perfect disciple. And then he told Srila Prabhupada, I want to be your perfect disciple. And then Srila Prabhupada replied to him, a perfect disciple is full of imperfections in front of the spiritual master. Such a nice thing. A perfect disciple is full of imperfections in front of the spiritual master. And that did it for the devotee. Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrindi ki, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki, Tatai Gaur Premanande.